Today, we're going to build a fighter jet using 14 Lego pieces.
These are all the pieces you are going to need. In the description of this video, I left the piece names, count, and design IDs.
We're going to start with a 1x6 plate piece. I know we're already getting bigger than I usually do in these micro builds, but on this 1x6 plate piece, I'm going to grab two 2x3 plates. And what I want to do is I want to get the center two studs of these 2x3 plates and put them on the bottom of my 1x6 plate. So the first one, center two studs, go on the last two studs of my 1x6 plate. And then the second 2x3 plate, I'm going to line up those center two studs with the next two studs underneath my 1x6 plate. And now I need to extend this a little bit further. And to extend that a little bit further, I'm going to grab a 1x3 plate. And to extend, I'm going to turn it over. You've got this part of the 1x6 plate sticking out. I'm going to grab my 1x3 plate and just put it all the way there against those 2x3 plates and along the 1x6, so it just hangs over by one stud. And now once I've got those in place, I just want to make this a little more secure, so I'm going to grab a 1x4 plate. Now I'm going to put that 1x4 plate to the back of the 1x3, across the 2x3, and then to the very end of this 2x3. So what happens is I've got all three of these plates secure with that 1x4 plate. So it's a really solid build. All right, now we can kind of build it out and make this look like a jet. Now to do that, I'm going to start with the nose cone. And to create the nose cone, I'm going to grab this 2x1 curved slope piece. And now you've got that notch in the back and it kind of hangs over. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take that notch in the back and put it onto that front stud of the 1x3 plate that's just a little bit lower and below the 1x6. So it connects and makes a nice smooth tip for my aerodynamic fighter jet. Now on the first stud over here behind that slope and on the first stud of my 1x6 plate, I'm going to grab a translucent clear cheese wedge slope. And this is going to be the canopy or cockpit of my jet fighter. And so what I want to do is I'm going to put the thin end on that front stud near the front, slope in the front, and it slopes up to the back. And now behind that cheese wedge slope that's translucent clear, I'm going to grab a light bluish gray piece to match the rest of the plane and just put it at the opposite end. So it goes right below or right behind it with that last stud so that the tall ends touch and it slopes down to the back. And now to smooth this part out, I've got these two studs right behind my cockpit here. I'm going to grab a 1x2 tile piece and put it along those studs right here, which is actually the center of my 1x6 plate. And now all I've got is those back two studs. And for those back two studs, I'm going to create the tail fin. And to do that, I'm going to grab this 2x1 slope piece. So I've got the 2x1 slope piece, and I'm going to put it so that the thin end, once again, is sloping towards the front, and it goes up to the back. And there's the back tail of my jet fighter. Now I need to make the wings. And to create the wings, I'm going to grab two of these 2x3 wedge plates. And what I want to do is I want to put the wedge plates so that the thin end, or the flat end of these three studs, and it flares out on the side, go on the back three studs. So I'm connecting my 2x3 plate pieces together like that. And so now I get my other 2x3 wedge here, my 2x3 wedge plate. Now I put it in here, so back three studs, and I've got the back wings of my fighter, and I just need the long wings on the front. And for that, I'm gonna get a 4x2 wedge plate. And for the 4x2 wedge plate, now we're gonna get that flat end is going to go against the back, and it's going to slope down, so the flared end in the front. So I put it on the front stud of that 2x3 plate facing this way. And then the same thing, front stud on the left side. And here's my completed jet fighter.
If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe or check out some of our other videos. Until next time, let's keep building together.